We're lit up and we are live. Don, we got the hat on today. I decided I just went for a clean shave, and I thought I'd go and show the beautiful bald head. Men all say we have beautiful bald heads, and women say it because they prefer hair, but they just say it to make us feel nice. Anyway, it's Friday, Don.
Yeah, it's Friday, which is 3 days after Tuesday, which was our last LinkTank on LinkedIn Live. And I know we're getting better with every episode. And I know we're starting to make an impact out there in LinkedIn land based on the knowledge share that we're providing. And really, the key to it is the one takeaway where you could leave here, go right to activity, and by this evening, enjoy and celebrate the success you just had.
Absolutely.
So Mike, what are we going to be talking about today? Share a little bit.
All right, Don. So both you and I are working with customers, and it's now I think we have crossed over 100 customers that we worked with, and the powerful aspect of being able to create content is to be able to create content in a way that's going to do something. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I did a talk last week at the Mastermind event, Board of Advisors, and it was a last minute because someone didn't show up. It was like the last day, last minute, almost the last slot. And they said, Mike, how are you on the fly? I said, I'm great on the fly. So then I just walked up there. I had no idea really what I was going to talk about and say, today I'm here to talk about diarrhea, bowel movements. And everyone's like, what? It's all, they know me, so they get a laugh out of it. But I basically said social media diarrhea.
Mm-hmm.
And I described that as basically content that doesn't add any value. So today we're going to talk about content that adds value, video specifically, and then how it creates know, like, and trust. So from your years of wisdom as a great business owner, talk about know, like, and trust and the importance of that in the sales cycle.
Well, I think that's fundamental because here's the key. And the key that fits this together is long game, right? If you're building for the long game, and this could be in a very, very lucrative long game, the only way to support it is for building trusted relationships, right? Getting people to know you, getting to like you enough to trust you, right? And then that opens the door to collaboration and discussion, and there's a match. So alignment is so vital to this. And the key is to what Mike says, and even before we got on the show where we're talking about action that creates results that you can duplicate based on your focus and your application of the knowledge it takes to do it. And Mike's a wizard when it comes to every aspect of the process. So now it's really about integrating that in your relationships and trust. So there's a fine line between business and building trust. But to Mike's point, my experience is that I had relationships that lasted 25, 30 years with the same person and with understandings. I mean, there are so many wonderful relationships I had without contracts, without lawyers. It was just, hey, we're going to make it right. If it's not right, we're going to make it right. And eventually everybody saw that and said, hey, okay, we're not keeping score. I know. And I think that's where we're getting to. Because, here's one thing that people don't appreciate that I was calculating last night is people don't value their time to account for it on LinkedIn, right? And let's say you put 2 hours a day in, which is, I would say, normal if you're actually active and supporting it and trying to do the right thing. Well, that's 10 hours a week. That's 40 hours a month, right? And that doesn't talk about planning, thinking, distracting, blah, blah, blah. Let's say you're $200 an hour. right? And a lot of you are more than that. That's $8,000 a month worth of your time. Where would you give somebody 40 hours at $200 and move your life around for it, right? Decide I'm not going golfing, I'm going to do LinkedIn today, or we can't go to dinner night, whatever the case. How do you get that $8,000 back? Or reduce your hourly rate to like $5 an hour, right? And when you put 40 hours in,
I have a better solution.
what's that?
You work with us with the Done For You Done program, so you lay off the vast majority of that, and then you only focus on your highest income producing tasks, which you should do in business anyway, and that's being a thought leader and creating content. So it's very interesting that you say that, because if you want to do it by yourself and be an island and do it on your own, you're right. It's 40 hours, it's $8,000. You don't you never do with the math that you did and say, oh my God, it's going to be $8,000 and can I ROI it? You can ROI $8,000, no problem on LinkedIn, that's for sure. But wouldn't you rather basically lay off that work and pay a lot less to an organization that's going to allow you to learn, do it better, faster? So at the end of the day, you might be paying $1,000 or $2,000 a month. It's better than $8,000, and plus you'll be 10 times more effective. That's some real math for you.
That's exactly right, because it's not like you're going 20 miles an hour and I'm going 80 and it's just going to take you 4 times as long. You may be exactly where you are next month, where you are today, after $8,000 worth of labor, right? So if you looked at it like you were an expert at whatever supposedly you're an expert on, you would hire a general contractor to do the build out on stuff you didn't know or didn't want to learn or didn't want to invest the time. And that's why when you take it back to somebody, and one overarching principle on LinkedIn is creating value for people looking and digesting whatever you're putting out there on LinkedIn, right? And when you say, here's what I got and here's what it cost, they think to themselves, well, I'm not paying anything. I mean, I have nothing to lose except their time. But you say, no, there's 2 more parts to the equation. Just add up whatever it is, how many hours you put in. It's not hard. Started at 8, left at 9:30, hour and a half, takes 2 seconds. After 5 days, add it all up. Take your average rate that you would want somebody to provide, not ideal, but acceptable, and multiply it out, and then multiply how many months of this you're going to put in, and say, do I want to make a $40,000 time investment when all I want is the result of what LinkedIn provides of the opportunity? You know, there was somebody that says, how does an aspirin work? And the person said, swallow it, right? You don't got to know the ingredients. You don't got to know the lab. You just know once you swallow it, you're going to get the relief. Right? The same thing here. Do you want to get into the minutia? Do you want to learn all the detail? Is your life so complete and well managed that you got excess time to dive into this when we're already there? We're the bridge, right?
Yeah.
And we're doing this show because we're so excited by this opportunity. And there's 810 million people on LinkedIn. And I guarantee you, we're one of 1/100% of those. There's plenty of floors to be built. So, Mike, take this before I get too excited.
I mean, this is what it is. It's excitement for it's, you know, it's if everyone knew what we knew, created what we've created, and experienced what we created, experienced what we've experienced in the last couple years since we've been doing this, they would be equally excited. And the person that's the most excited is Gary Vaynerchuk. And because he's done it on every platform, he did it on YouTube, and he did it on Twitter, and he did it on Pinterest, and he did it on Facebook, he did it on Instagram, and he's still doing it on LinkedIn. And now he's killing it on TikTok. And he's like, bring it. Every new platform that comes out is a little bit shift in the methodology, but it gives me the opportunity to build massive distribution. And the key is that you got to get the content right. you got to make a commitment to do, right? We always talk about learn and do. You got to do it. So today, and our promise at LinkTank is you're always going to walk away with one thing you can implement. So today, we're going to share the screen right now, and I'm going to tell a story about my client. I'm going to give the name of the client. The client is in financial industry, went to Yale. His story is incredible. He works at one of the big firms. He's very, very bright, and he's already working with us and now starting to get big views, and people are actually contacting him. But this is the third part of our consultation, which focuses on the content and really basically the distribution, and he's not producing video. And the reason why he's not producing video is because he did not feel like he's ready. There's this subconscious program running in the background that I'm not there yet. I'm not ready. And quite frankly, it's a scary thing to put yourself out on video because most people aren't comfortable. So you do, from a mindset standpoint, have to get through that and get over that. And that's like another topic for another story. But what I shared with him today was just a simple breakdown of how easy it is and removing the complication out of his brain, because that's what Don and I do, is we make these things bulletproof and easy, because if it's not, you're not going to do it. So with that said, let me share the screen and let's get this up. We're going to get that crazy looking at ourselves 1 million times again. Hold on. All right, that's good. There's the 1 million times. And so what we want to get to is just a few things to lay out the groundwork. So number one is the problem comes up, I don't know what to talk about. So you're looking at right now a search I did. I said, this can work for most everybody. You don't know what to talk. Well, one of the great properties globally is the Dummies book series. They do one, it's successful because they do so much research and they know what people need the answers to. Mm-hmm. So if you don't know what to talk about, just go look up the Dummies that's in your category. So I told him, go look up the Dummies. I mean, he's a guy, a Yale graduate. He's, managing a lot of money. Go to Dummies. So here it is, Dummies book for investing. And you always can just push the button and it will give you this part. They want to sell you on the book. So they're giving you the table of contents. Well, wouldn't you know that this is highly researched, and of course they're going to answer the most pressing questions that people have. So if these are telling you the most pressing questions and you're unconsciously or subconsciously conscious of your craft, then all you need to do is go down here and make a list of 20 things you can talk about. So I literally told him that if you look at like any of this stuff, looking at bond investing, what is a bond? How does a bond, long-term bonds work? How does short-term bonds? How do you pick a bond? What's a bond fund? What's the difference between a bond fund, a mutual fund, an ETF fund? What about mutual funds? What about, I said the most basic thing, I said, just go over here, and this is going has access to this, and just go across the top. Nobody really knows what the Dow Jones is, why it's important, and why it's really deceiving. It means nothing. What about the S&P 500? What does that mean? How does the makeup of that happen? What does actually even the S&P 500 represent? No one knows. Mm-hmm. And also why the NASDAQ index is meaningless, because the top 10 stocks account for 60% of the movement of the NASDAQ. So it's not even a really good reflection of a diverse. I'm just doing this because I was in business and I know this. But this, you could literally go on and on. So fundamentally, you cannot use the excuse of, I don't know what to talk about. Now, John, add something to that in terms of your thoughts, and then I'm going to go into the next part of this.
Well, here's the thing, too, about content. And, every area of LinkedIn expertise that can give you an unfair competitive advantage really quickly is knowing best practices for content. And here's the challenge. Everybody comes in with who they are, and they apply who they are to something that they just entered. And in most cases, fear is a big issue. Whatever the fear is, fear of embarrassment, fear it's not good enough, whatever that is. what you find is when you post, it's like throwing a bubble up in the air. It's going to burst and go away in a second, right? Doesn't have a lot of long-term benefit, but it has a lot of benefit as far as familiarity, right? Consistency. And me and Mike say that good is good enough when you're doing things versus trying to wait for perfect, because it's not going to show up. And meanwhile, the race is on. You're sitting on the sidelines. I mean, if you want to be in the game, you got to get in the game. And here's the thing. I don't blame people for not wanting to build content if you don't know what you're doing. I know when I first did my first post, it took me forever. I still didn't know what I was doing until a few more times. And, you know, you could take the slow, arduous, in some ways enjoyable, you know, path that no one else has taken, or you can just come together with people who can always say, hey, start here this way. You know, you ever been up a mountain with a guide versus go up a mountain by yourself? And someone's been up and down the place 3-4 times, and whole goal is to make it enjoyable, safe, and blah, blah, blah. Well, we look at ourselves not so much as coaches, but as guides. We don't just give you a plan and say, go get them, Tiger. We're taking the walk with you and also giving you insight. So getting back to content, that's just one part. What I say with content to make it easy, and easy is the best approach when you're getting going, is be yourself, right? LinkedIn gives you a microphone and a stage every day. You can get up, pick up the microphone and say, here's what I'm thinking today. Here's what I'm feeling today. Here's what I believe in today. And that's enough, right? And you can go back an hour later and do it again if you didn't like it. Or
the other part is you're not going to be perfect, and it doesn't matter because in 2 weeks your post is going to be down the feed and no one's going to see it. So it's super important. It's one, you got to talk about stuff you know, because you're not going to bullshit anybody. Be yourself. Now you know how to get all the ideas in the world that you need. Next step is, well, you got to do something with that, right? Because now we just gave you the information. Now you got to do something. So I love the script, and this is I'm gonna put the link in a little bit, but this is how easy it is to create video today with all of the technology. You really have no excuse. So what you do is you sign up for that. It'll end up being a little D up here in the window. When you click the D, it's going to give you basically a circle like this of you, and it's going to ask you, do you want to share yourself and the screen or just you? So in this particular case, let's take this real life example. If I'm a financial guy, I'm going to just simply put up Google Finance and I'm going to be ready to teach. I am not going to worry about perfection. I'm going to add value. And then what I'm going to do is click here to make sure my right camera, my microphone, transcription, I definitely want. And I want AI Studio sound. And I literally say, start recording. It asks me, do you want to start the whole page or you just want to take a section of the page? So all I want is this little section right here. That and bada bing. We are going to hit record and then we are going to be recording. So now I'm recording. I'm adjusting myself. Oh, am I worried? Am I panicked? No, because it's this I'm now giving you I'm giving you like dodo things because I'm going to show you what happens. There's no pressure. You just get ready and say, okay, now I'm ready. Check 1, 2, ready to start. I'm going to start. Today, we're looking at the market. The Dow is down 529 points, the S&P down 74, and it's a bad day. But one of the things that people always talk about is the VIX. And the VIX is a measure of fear and greed. And it's volatility, actually. So I picked up the maximum chart of VIX, and in the 2008 crash, the VIX went up to 80. And then in 2020, when we had COVID, the VIX went up to 60 and change. Today, it is, Today, it is hovering around 8 right now. So you have to ask yourself, where are we standing relative to the two biggest periods? Is it a time to really be fearful, defensive? Now that's up to you based on your risk tolerance. And by the way, if you want to trade the VIX, you can, but that's pure speculation because there's no actual fundamentals behind it other than your trend of real fear or less fear. Over and out. I hope you enjoyed this little piece. Then I just hit right here, stop, and stop over here. And what the software is going to do for you is so amazing. It has got the video and the transcription. I'm going to open the project. So I just push one more button. And here it is. I'm literally showing you what would be the equivalent of a Word document. I'm going to make it bigger so everybody can see. But this is a Word document. And this is my video. So what you would want to do is say, okay, let's hit the button. I'm adjusting myself. Oh, am I worried? Am I panicked? Okay, so my sound's a little low. So I go over here and I just slide this over. Now I'm going to say, where am I now? Oh, sounds better. That's cool. But look at this. This is the beginning. Remember, I was adjusting myself? I'm recording. I'm adjusting myself. Oh, am I worried? Am I panicked? So it turns out that all of this is basically mumbo jumbo. All I do is highlight it and I hit delete. So now watch this. Today we're looking at the market. The Dow is down 529 points. The S&P down. Okay, so I've got a transcript. Now I purposely went over here and I said, here it is. Let's go to my error. The VIX went up to 60 and change. Today it is screwed up. Today okay. So there we go. I just go right here and I just highlight it and I just hit delete. It's doing the editing for me. You have no excuses. What's also really cool is that if I hit this little toolbar up here and at there's filler words, bottom right, it's showing me I have 3 filler words. I might have gotten rid of them and it automatically removes them. So now it says, okay, this is good. I am happy with this. And all you do is go other than trading it. I hope you enjoyed this piece. I'll get rid of this ending because we did that. My editing is done. I basically highlight this and then I go to the plus sign. They call it fancy captions. I hit that. You can now see when I start this on the right-hand side. Today, we're looking at the market. The Dow is down 529 points. The S&P down 74. And then that's basically it. If this thing is a little screwy over here, or just highlight it, and then you hit E, and it says, okay, 2020, 2022 it should be. And I hit correct. It changes the transcript. Now all I do is simply go over here, and I hit share, and then I hit export, and then I hit video, and don't touch any of these. I hit export. My things are all burned in, and in probably a minute and a half or 2 minutes, I have my video or even less, and voila, we are done. So this is the new world. There literally is not an excuse now to do this. And literally, Don, you're on our weekly calls with all of our clients. We work through this with everybody, but it's practice.
But here's the really cool thing about it is that technology that you just utilized cost somebody a lot of money and time to develop, right? And so you're getting a lot of value there. And based on having an app and maybe a subscription that really costs dollars a month, you are now going to the market. You're going to the marketplace with $1 million vehicle that costs you $30. So here's the rub is when you come together with us, not only do you get our knowledge, you get our discovery, right? As we find new apps and new ways to apply them and integrate them, because here's the key: speed wins the game. You know, we talk about being a long game. We're trying to shorten it without losing any quality, right? If we can say, hey, zip through here and you'll get there in half the time. But more importantly, our mistakes don't have to be someone else's, right? We know where the landmines are. We could have somebody have an enjoyable journey. I mean, compare where you are and where you'd like to be, and what's your chance of getting there the way you're going. I mean, it's an honest question. What if someone was to say, I'll sell you three more, I'll give you three more vowels to the puzzle, right? To fill in some more blanks for you. Would that help you? And more importantly, this is a personalized opportunity. We work with everybody as an individual with their situation. And here's how you can't lose, because you're already starting with you. When you add two of us, you got to be at least you and something.
Yes.
And the philosophy ultimately is either you learn or you earn, right? So either one works. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah. So I just want to tell everyone, I put the link below. It's we get a few bucks per month. I got to be transparent and tell everybody. So you will sign up for there. So at least give us a few bucks instead of giving it all to the script. And Don and I will buy you a virtual coffee. And here's the thing, that we will be launching LinkTank. We're probably delaying it too much because we want to be perfect out of the gate. But we're in action right now. You're learning from us and watching this show evolve, and that's where we're putting our focus. And then, of course, we're both already teaching and consulting. So the release of this is going to be when we feel like we've got a right roadmap, and it's going to be coming up in the next week or two. So send us a message, and also send us some questions. We're still waiting for the first person to say, "Hey, I want to be on with you guys. I had a question to ask." You'll come on. There'll be three of us, two of us and you. That's amazing promotion. So that's my wrap up. It's 2:26, and I got a meeting in 2 minutes. But Don, you want to give it the last close?
Yeah. Just to follow up on what Mike said, we sure appreciate everybody who views this. Hopefully, taking action, getting some benefit. And if you already see the picture, reach out to us already, right? You can message us on LinkedIn and we can have conversations. You don't have to wait till we finalize something. And in the meantime, use what we just told you while it's fresh, while you're still excited. You know what I mean? And then share that success. And I'll leave you with one thing. The definition of a big shot is a little shot to keep shooting. So, it's really getting out there and doing it. So take that to the bank with you, and love to see you next Tuesday, 2 p.m., same time.
And it's Shabbat Shalom again.
Shabbat Shalom.
Over and out. Thanks, everybody.